Making textured brick tileable. Okay, well, first off, let's kind of look for a brick pattern. So I got all kinds of brick at houseoftutorials.net/zfleamarket, and I got quite an assortment. None of it's tileable. None of it's tiled yet. Let's go into something that's really, really rough. Yeah, like this. I'm just gonna say, well, I gotta let it load all the way. Save image as. Brick non-tileable. Okay, then I'm gonna hop over to Photoshop. And the first thing I'm gonna do is show rulers. I'm going to make sure this grout line, or a grout line, is perfectly straight. In this case, I need to rotate the image just a little bit. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate the layer, grab my move tool, and make sure show transformation controls is on. Also, I want to take off snap. Just going to straighten out one of these grout lines. In this case, there's not much to tweak, just a little bit. Then I'm going to hit the move tool to apply that. Okay, get rid of that. Now, I'm going to be very careful upon what I am clipping out. If I use the shift, I'm going to just make a square, and I'm going to take this square and kind of move it around. I'm going to go right here, and if you mess up, just undo. I'm going to go right about here, and then I'm going to go right clicking on this and say transform selection. What I want to make sure is there is grout on the return on both sides. Okay, that'll help out with the tiling process. Also, I want to find out if there's going to be a grout line here and here. So I'm going to get within one grout line here and hopefully a couple over on this side. Okay, good. Hit apply and then image crop. Select, deselect, image size. Right now, I'm just going to make sure this is square. I'm not really worried about resolution. I want to copy the top, the largest, and paste it. To do this, I'm going to have to take constraint proportions off. This will just barely square up the image, but that's important. Alright, next, what I want to do is be able to fix the seam. I'm going to make a copy of this one, just in case, and go Filter, Other, Offset. Okay. Now what I want to do is take my eraser, I'm going to leave my flow alone, but I'm going to make sure this is a soft eraser. And for each one of these, it's going to be different. So what I'm looking for is a grout line for each brick. Okay, good. In this case, I don't have a grout line, so one thing I can do is copy a grout line. But first, let's go in and edit, copy merged, edit, paste. Okay, so that way I have what I have, and I can go from there. Hold Alt with the clone stamp tool, and I can put a texture seam right here. That's good. And then use the eraser just a little bit to patch that up. There we go. Alright, you're going to be doing this a lot with the whole edit, copy, merged, edit, paste thing with brick. So get used to it. Now let's go filter, other offset, and offset it the other way. In this case I'm going to say 0 for this way, and then for the vertical pull I'm going to look for that seam. I'm going to have a harder time finding the seam. And that's because I lined up that texture grout. Instead of hunting for it, I'm just going to look for an area that looks really nice. Like this area right here has no anomalies with it, except for that red brick at the top. This one right here. So I'm going to make sure that red brick is totally visible and somewhat down a little bit. I want to take that out of the picture. That thing is going to really be too stark contrast, and it's going to show up all the time. Another thing is this little grout right here. I'm going to kind of patch that back a little. This is really easy because this is a damaged brick. So it's one of those things that because it's so damaged, I would say it's a good starter point to find out how to do this tileable. Okay, again I gotta go copy merged, paste, use the clone stamp tool to kind of patch that up a little bit. Alright, so that should be tileable. Now, again, this time we're going to go filter, sharpen, smart sharpen. And I like to keep things really contrasty because the fact that is you're going to be using them within a game or anything else, it really helps to be really contrasty. Let's lower the resolution down. 72, 2048 by 2048. Let's save this as brick. Save it as a TIFF with no layers. Okay, now let's go over to Maya. Let's grab that texture from the hard drive. Let's go over here and take that disk, take this right here, and let's switch out textures. Middle mouse button, click and drag to default. This is a texture I made in the last video. It's got its UVs repeated. This one right here, this one I have to repeat the UVs. So to do that, you just double click this, go into place 2D texture, and repeat the UVs like, let's say, let's say 12. I mean, what's worst case scenario? Whoa, that's really small. Okay, not 12. About 3. That looks about right. Good deal. Even that looks a little harsh, so I'm going to go 2. Yeah, it looks better. Now, if you're unhappy with it, you just look for what's annoying. In this case, this brick right here is pretty annoying. It shows up a lot. You can see it right here, 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 here. So, to get rid of the annoying bricks, you know, you have your stuff already saved up here. I can see that brick right there, and the only thing that makes it annoying is the 3 lines. Look, it appears here and here. So those are the bricks that you have to get rid of, either by taking and using the clone stamp tool, or another thing I like to do is taking a brick from like maybe over here, edit, copy, merged, edit, paste, then move that brick into the position where the other brick is annoying. Hey, wouldn't you know, I cut the exact same brick, right? Oh, jeez. Throw that away. So I ended up cutting this brick from over here to the over here. What's the odds? I'll cut this brick out. And I'm going to cut right into the texture seam of the cement. Then just lightly dust it off with a hint of eraser, just to get rid of the line. So that's a good way to kind of patch up your map. Another thing is seams. I mean, I see a couple things that might not be good. If you grab some of this, and move it around, technically I can separate just about any of these, like this one right here, for example. There we go. And that's still tileable. Anytime I touch the outside edge, it ceases to be tileable. I'm going to update brick, replace it. Shouldn't add layers, but got brick, and reload it. Much better. So that's what you do. You keep hunting the anomalies down. This one right here would be your next one, but you get the picture on how to fix it now. And that's a very damaged looking wall. Love it. Alright, enjoy the tutorial. Until next tutorial.